Puta madre. La puta madre.
These ruins, they moved when we got near them.
Here we go! Here we go! Let's go! Here we go! Take the lead!
Careful not to fall! It's really dangerous here.
Hijo de la puta madre.
Here we go!
Yeah! Let's go!
Here's your next mission. A child's lost in the palace. Find and rescue that child.
Here we go! Let's go! Maybe best to try it there.
Vale.
We can ride this current up. Just step back, boys. Let me blow a bubble. Let's go. Oh, handle it, boys.
Genial.
Let's go. Here we go.
Take the lead! Here we go!
Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Yep. Got it. Level up. Here we go. Let's go. We can travel far distances by moving around using the bubble to ride.
Y...
Can only be obtained.
Ne,
Here's your next mission.
no pasa nada.
Child's lost in the palace. Find and rescue that child.
Here we go. Let's go. Let's see what's up there.
Va.
Let's go. The pillars on the sides of the path look unstable. Better be careful. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go.
Oh, ok. Vale, tío.
Vector specialty. Let's go.
Para...
Let's go. Let's go.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Here we go.
20 minutos.
Let's go. Here we go.
Oh, puta madre. Soniquero es. Hola, hola Valkyrie. ¿Qué tal estás, tío? Estás, tío.
We can travel
¿Qué tal estás, tío?
by moving around using the bubble to ride. There are treasures that can
Da,
only be obtained by using this
da,
thread.
da.
Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Surely should take the lead.
Sí, es Sónico Héroes. Con el Pog volador. Por supuesto. Estoy lurking mientras
Did you see that bubble?
un rato. Vale. Entiendo. Es español, pero... ¡Oh! ¿Oh? ¿Es la realidad? ¡El funciona! Wow. Hey, what's up, Tanuki Gamer?
Got it.
The fucking bot works. What the fuck? Imagínate, tíos. Estamos vivos en un timeline.
Here's your next mission. A child's lost in
Y una sociedad.
find and rescue that child.
Imagina.
Here we go.
No. No he quedado... No he quedado funcionando hace una semana más o menos. Fue una puta mierda. Twitch y YouTube también. Sí, creo. I hope. Pues estuvo roto hace unas semanas, en Twitch, creo. Pero no sé. Jugando Mega Man 03.
Yeah, let's go.
Here's your next mission. Destroy all of Eggman's robots holding the city. Every single one of them.
Hey, look how fast I can run on this bike.
¿Cuándo cumples años? ¿2 días? Es el 11 de marzo. Oh, puta madre. Vale, gracias.
Whoa, this path is moving. Didn't know I could move this fast. Level up. Here we go. Let's go. Those suspicious machines must be stealing something.
Man, you bad man.
Well, I guess we caught him red-handed.
Perfecto, el RNG. RNG.
Let's go. There may be too many of them. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go.
Awesome.
Here we go. Let's go.
Ah, ya está.
Here we go. Let's go.
A veces este juego es una puta mierda. Impresionante al mismo tiempo.
Here we go. Let's go.
Oh, puta madre.
Here we go.
Vale.
Here we go. Let's go.
Take the lead.
Let's go.
Roll up.
Here we go. Let's go. Behold, ninja power. Here we go. Let's go.
Es un juego muy difícil en verdad, pero...
I'll take the lead. Here we go.
Ninja power.
Está bien. Es muy divertido. Pero es muy difícil. La puta madre. Yo un poco... Oh. ¿Qué haces? Ok.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 67... 66. Obviamente no sé hablar. No sé hablar. Ok.
Okay. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go.
Lo odio cuando Charmin toma una siesta. Es de España, es de España, en verdad. Joder, no puedo hablar. No es el día. Quizás es porque tengo hambre. Tengo hambrazo. Hambrazo. Pero no quiero comer. Soy perezoso.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's go.
Here's your next mission.
Puta madre.
Those turtles control the system of the city itself. Find and destroy.
Vaya. Ok. Ya sé lo que sé.
Hey, look! SS robots! They're guarding those machines! How strange! Let's get them!
Let's go. Here we go.
I'll take the lead!
Let's go. Level up. Let's go.
I'll take the lead! All right! It's much easier to climb from here! Here we go!
Let's go. Here we go.
I'll take the lead!
What's up there?
Here we go!
Let's go. Let's take care of Eggman's robots first. Here we go.
Level up!
Let's go.
Ok.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's go!
Ah, sí, estoy usando el otro mic.
Here's your next mission. Disguise yourselves and infiltrate the city. Goal is to collect 200 rings. This is a test of luck.
Pues es obvio, pero...
Yeah!
Me. What the fuck? Oh shit. I'm being raided by Revo.
Awesome!
I
Totally
guess now I'm
awesome!
kind of forced to speak in English now, aren't I? Hello everybody that's coming in from Revo's stream.
Here we go.
Um,
Yeah, let's
I'm practicing for a marathon called the Grupithon, which is a Spanish marathon. But I guess since I was rated, I'll speak English a lot more. In case anybody was wondering, both me and Revo and Matty are gonna be taking part in it. Oh damn. Yes, welcome everybody. Actually gonna do it this way because everybody's here. So yes, and I'm sure everybody's seen it by this point, but this is Team Chaotix. I'm still doing a little bit of practice, but I'll probably do runs soon since it doesn't take me too long to de-rust. Of course, everybody who's played this game remembers Team Chaotix as the worst team, but I assure you they are very fun to watch. A lot of really cool strats. And I mean, like, no way Chaotix is the worst team, right? Right? Puta madre. Esta es la corriente en el. It's the wave. Why would you ever try this at home? Team Rose is the only one with a forced tutorial. See, you're right about that. I actually really don't like Team Rose, but I mean, to be fair, I'm not really into... I'm not really into running any teams other than Chaotix.
Here's your next mission.
Like, many people might, think I didn't run Team Sonic single segment because bot boosting was discovered, but that's not actually true. Something's wrong with your Twitch player. Oh, hey, Bone, Cleedon. If you're having issues watching me on Twitch, you can watch me on YouTube. Oh. Well, I appreciate the good luck regardless. So, Rail Canyon's one of the levels that, you actually have to get to the end for Team Chaotix. For some reason I'm having issues with this bot boost again. Really shouldn't, because it's one of the easier ones. I did that really early. Huh. Interesting. The only pure any % level. I mean, there's also Frog Forest.
Are those Eggman's robots?
I don't know why I'm having trouble with that. It's usually pretty easy. Oh, right, the frogs. I forgot about the frogs. Okay. Okay, there's a Sea Rifle. Oh, come on. No. I'm not doing that. Also, I guess, even though I guess I don't really need to say the offer. Wait. 1, 2, 3. If anybody here is currently learning Spanish, like I am, and wishes to practice, feel free to, or if Spanish is your native language, I'll use and respond to you in English. Or English or Spanish, it doesn't really matter, since at the moment I need to practice regardless. Okay. That kind of sucked.
Here we go!
Yeah, let's go!
I guess I'll practice Egg Fleet. It's one of the harder levels, really. I need to check to see what my puppy wants. Hang on. I don't know if she's hungry or whatever. I might have to take her out again. Since, like, who knows? So I apologize, even though I just got raided. Them's the ropes when you got a new pup to deal with. My shirt at? So I apologize about that, but unfortunately, I shall BRB quick. Okay, that was the wrong mic. Alright, sorry about the wait. Kinosuke, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa, wey? Here's my headphones. I wear them kind of just because. Destiny is qué triste. Qué triste. Let me see. Here. Hang on. There we go. Okay, everything's okay. Sorry about the wait. I think I had to pee. These, every now and again you gotta go. I gotta go and take her out.
Here we go.
How could we have reached this altitude already?
Flying this time.
Taking care of puppies is hard work.
You're supposed to be used to flying, aren't you?
Yeah, you want to be Vector when you hit that spring, because sometimes the game is just like, well, you're gonna bounce off. Way is about the only word. It's spelled in two ways. Generally people write it using W-E-Y or W-E, but technically the right way to spell it is G-U with a diaresis, E-Y. That's generally how you would say way. And now, in the dialect I speak, usually, well, it's not usually, in the dialect I usually speak, I don't say way, I say tia. But, I like to kind of mix it up a little bit when I know somebody's from a specific country. Sometimes. Like, usually I would say, ¿Qué tal estás, tía? Oh, puta madre.
Here we go!
Yeah, let's go.
But yeah, again, as I said, I apologize about the wait. I know I shouldn't be apologizing this much, but like, yeah, I just feel kind of bad, you know. Yeah, so this particular level is Frog Forest. You need to not be detected by the frogs, and honestly, I forget that objective even exists, because get up. Hey, Doom. No. You are not killing me this time. Okay, game. It's just in. Game is cursed. Past 2 days, this game has been fucking cursed and has been doing some really weird shit. Probably marathon curse. Well, yesterday I was saying the Spanish curse.
Here we go.
Tuesday anime. It is indeed Tuesday. Reset is in 14 minutes. And probably just about as per usual, Jack's probably gonna come into my stream and like be like, hey yo, Banshee's not selling shit. Yeah, for Frog Forest, it's one of the few levels in Team Chaotix where you actually use a bot boost to the end. And it's kind of an interesting setup because you do it just specifically for Kaido's OnlyFans raid. True. Very true. Banshee never sells shit! Never! I mean, to be fair, to be completely fair, okay? He's been selling some Warmind mods, and I've been getting a couple of them, but like, You know, a couple of my friends need powerful friends and shit. Like Doom. And Banshee ain't selling that. I got powerful friends from the Prismatic Recaster during the season of Arrivals, so I'm fine since I'm a hunter, but well, I got it since I'm a hunter and, like, you know, need mobility. Banshee's never selling anything. Seriously, guys, don't get into Destiny. Even though now is probably the best time to get into Destiny. Maybe not, but Bungie's starting to get their shit together finally. Slowly. Slowly but surely. Makes me happy because really love Bungie. I'm not gonna lie to you, I do love Bungie with all my fucking heart, especially after they left Activision, like, cut it off with Activision. Really happy about that. And I've seen a lot of improvements. They fuck up a lot. But I always make the same argument. Like, hey, look. Like, what would you rather have? A company that says, hey, we're gonna fix this, and then never fixes it, and then pretends it doesn't exist, or a company that eventually will say if they can't fix it, hey, look, we're having issues. Get to it eventually. Bring back the old pinnacles? What do you mean the old pinnacles? Because I haven't been checking... I'm still new. But I'm always of the thing where, like, at the very least, Bungie is usually very honest when they can be. But the damn fan base makes it so that way it's very hard for them to be capable of being super transparent, because it doesn't matter what Bungie does, they get attacked. Oh no, Destiny's been down for 5 minutes. Bungie, I want my money back. And I expect new exotics as payment for your crimes.
Come on, Charmy, let's go.
Now tell me that's not wrong. Like, sometimes I look at the Bungie help Twitter just to kind of laugh at the... Oh yeah, they got rid of sunsetting, but so what they're doing is sunsetting no longer exists, and they're bringing back some old weapons, but not too many. And anything that's already been sunsetted is no longer going to be in rotation unless they bring it back specifically. Missed my shot. Can I get a refund? Trash game, trash company. That is how literally the entire Destiny fanbase is. Yeah, sunsetting applies to literally everything pre-Season 13, but they have also brought back some Forsaken and some Shadowkeep weapons.
Thank you.
And also, yes, hello, this is Sonic Heroes, where we talk about Sonic Heroes, of course. Why wouldn't we talk about Sonic Heroes? Mystic Mansion is a level where, you have to blow out torches by using level 3 SBO and praising to the RNG gods and goddesses that may or may not ever exist, that you get the right RNG, so that way you don't lose, like, 20 seconds.
There's a switch up there, SBO.
In Destiny, the Powder Titan, the Flight Warlock, and the Speed Hunter. Except the Hunter's the slowest character on the fucking team. But look, at least he could do good DPS. Okay. Team Chaotix with guns. Yep.
There are torches here.
Right.
Here we go.
But, yeah, I mainly only run Team Chaotix. And, I don't know how much Revo's talked about it on stream, but I said before that, we have both submitted to do a relay of Sonic Heroes for, a marathon called the Grupithon, which is a Spanish-speaking marathon, which actually Sid is going to participate in. We'll just fill in for him, for the Spanish commentary. So, like, it's gonna be me, Revo, Sid, and Matty doing the 4 teams, and then we'll just have a random, like, staff member do final story. It's gonna be fun. Though, unfortunately, it is not necessarily going to be as accessible for the English speaking. Yeah. I thought that it would be a good idea to have Sid come in, just because, just because, like, just because of the fact that, like, there's pretty much nobody that runs Team Rose that, could speak Spanish, except I could learn it, but I really don't want to learn it. And then, like, the choice would have been to pick Yuki or have Doom learn it, and I really think that, both options would have been a little bit too tight. So, it was more so the fact that I think it would be a good idea to have Sid. Plus, he could do LTS. And getting nowhere near Rose. So, like, and plus, like, Sid is a big, like, representation of the game and the community as well. So, like, to me, it just kind of makes sense, even if he doesn't really speak Spanish. But, I mean, like, with me and Revo there and Maddie, like, the game is gonna have really good representation. We'll see about the, commentary. That's never happened before. We'll see how well we kind of do together, since like both Maddie and Revo have accents that I'm very unfamiliar with, accents and dialects that I'm very unfamiliar with, as well as I have very bad listening comprehension, so it's gonna be fun. But I mean, Revo and Maddie are very knowledgeable, so like, I'm not really worried about the game having poor representation or whatever, and plus, like, I mean, honestly, the person that's probably gonna perform the worst might be me. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm probably gonna be the person who performs the worst out of everybody. But I mean, like, that's not the point of a marathon. The point of a marathon is to showcase the game to a set of people. And this game really does deserve good representation. Dude, I thought I messed that up. Camera's messed up. I've developed this weird habit here where, like, for some reason I do this incorrectly and the camera gets wonky and I can't grab the chow. I haven't figured out how to fix that yet, but I mean, like, I still have, what is today, the 9th? I still have, like, 16, 17 days before the marathon, so, yeah. Sid and I will probably post about the Grupithon when it comes closer to it actually, like, when it's closer to the date. So, I mean, in case anybody is in the Heroes Discord and wants to know when when it comes about, we're still kind of, like, finalizing everything, but in case anybody actually wants to, you know, watch it, even if they can't really speak Spanish, I still think it's gonna be kind of fun. You're gonna hear me say a lot of curse words and say dumb shit. You'll be able to tell. You don't need to understand the words to be able to tell when I'm saying dumb shit, because, like, I'm always saying dumb shit. But every now and again, I do try to say something at least somewhat intelligent. Ah, crap. You throw Deku and Revo up in the background. Fair enough. I mean, when it comes to resets and stuff, like, you know, this game's pretty damn reset heavy to begin with. It's understandable that you might put the audio in the back burner. What am I doing? Anything? Okay, everything's good. Yeah, an interesting thing about the strat that I just did, The strat that I did right there with the pole's actually kind of interesting. You do the leaf swirl really close to the ground, switch to Charmy, and then you just thunder shoot, and Charmy usually grabs the pole. Sometimes he doesn't, but he usually does. I did the roll at the exact wrong time. I'm supposed to roll about here. There we go. Then you do that, and not that bad. But this little glide here is pretty much timing based. If you do it too early, you get really high, like what I just did there. If you do it too low, then pain Peko. But it's pretty easy to time once you have the timing down. And so I mean, like, hello? Grab the key. Thank you. No! This game. I mean, that was 100% my fault, but...
What? The world is turned upside down.
There we go. That's how you do it, right? Grab the key, hammer down with Vector, a little glidey there. Almost die because you don't know how to aim, just like in FPS games.
Look, the door's open.
There we go. Yeah, that's pretty much this game in a nutshell. You just make that one minor mistake. Just that one minor mistake, and then everything goes to shit. Sometimes I'm a little bit overconfident with my movement, and that's usually the cause of a lot of my mistakes. Is being overconfident in my movement, and then a lot of me being really slow is the exact opposite, where I'm not confident in my movement. Okay. Alright. I fat-fingered the X button, but it works, so Huh. Up 150. That wouldn't be too bad. I think it's about time to actually try to do some runs here. No, I'm not really going for record attempts here or anything. But, of course, I do have to practice for the marathon, so it doesn't really matter too much whether or not I'm going for record attempts or even PB attempts. I just wanted to kind of point that out there just in case anybody wants to ask the question. Bring it on! So, Team Chaotix, the first level you have to collect 10 crabs with a very interesting route. And the crabs are on some kind of a cycle based on the in-game, or the in-level timer from what I understand, but some may be based on proximity or draw distance, depending on what you want to say for it. The level's not really anything special, just kind of, you know, same old, another day at the office, kinda. Another day at the office, kinda level. Pretty much the same thing with most first levels and most runs. And in case you're wondering about my timer, I actually input the in-game time. Usually, which is inaccurate since the game also counts cutscenes and stuff. But it is a good comparison regardless. That's just how I've been timing my runs since we moved to IGT. I just add, like, I don't know, it's like 11 minutes or something to the end. How am I learning Japanese? Very, very passively. By watching anime, and then occasionally I'll look up some grammar stuff. Since at the moment I am mostly focusing on Spanish, but prior to that I was actually like trying to look up words and using, like, say, Duolingo to keep my vocabulary fresh. Never use Duolingo to teach you grammar. It's a bad time. Which is why they usually say those apps are better for supplementary courses rather than actual, like, courses. But, yeah, at the moment it's mostly just listening comprehension and light grammar study. Since I'm not focusing on it right now, I'm focusing on Spanish. But when I get back to it, either I'm going to be paying for lessons, or I'll do what I've been doing, which is just learning organically. Are you curious in learning Japanese? 114. Because, your boy does enjoy good language talk.
Impossible feat.
Oh yeah, that was Ocean Palace. It's also another run-of-the-mill level. You just get to the end. It's not the end. You just have to collect the Chow. The most you got is Nani. I don't. How I was learning kanji to some extent was just writing them and then trying to read manga as I was learning them to just kind of like get them committed to memory. I got up to, I think, about 100 or so kanji where I can actually read them. And like, I need a Rocket Excel. But I mean, that's how I was trying to learn it anyways. I wasn't really getting too far with it, but that's to be expected because I didn't have anything. Banshee is a silly shit, of course. So, you know, I mean, like, maybe in Japanese I could say something like, boku wa G Pro to iimasu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. You know, like, お元気ですか? いい天気ですね。君は? ごきげんよう。こんにちは。おはようございます。Just really basic stuff.
We're here. How else are we gonna make the rent?
Let's go!
Here's your next mission. Destroy
The subject, object, verb, yes. And usually the subject is omitted unless otherwise specified, since it is a topic prominent language. Just like it's like Korean. That's not good.
Those suspicious machines must be stealing something from that pipe.
Eggman, you sad man!
That's bad.
I guess we caught him red.
That's my own fault, though.
Let's go. Truly amazing. Let's go.
Now, I'm supposed to have at least level 2 Espio here, and I'm gonna diverge just to get that. But I missed the power-up. Just something that actually never happens, but, I mean, well, you know, oh, that never happened before.
Behold, ninja power. Here we go.
But it does happen. It's an interesting language, especially because of the fact that, like, it's a language that is very different from a lot of Western languages, where verbs, like, conjugate into politeness, as well as other things. But the closest thing that Japanese has to English is its present tense verbs, because English present tense verbs are not really considered present tense. They're a different tense, but we usually just call it present tense just because that's what it's considered. Like, say for example, technically English present tense is present progressive. So, I mean, in English you could say I'm running, and you could translate that into Spanish to say corro. But corro is present tense, which means that at the present moment you are running. Or maybe with some certain words it could mean you were running at some point. But in English, when you say I run, it doesn't mean the same thing as you're running at this moment. Really interesting. Languages are weird. It can be fun for people who like languages like me, but they're very weird, and they don't really make a lot of sense. I run makes you think of speedrunning. Oh yeah. Like, yeah, I run. But then you ask the question, when do you run? How do you run? Why do you run? Whereas, like, I am running, it's like, oh, you're doing that right now, huh? It's interesting because when you become closer to being bilingual, your perception of a lot of things tends to change for whatever reason. And sometimes your ability to speak your native language gets better, depending on certain things, because you notice little quirks to one language that can technically be applied to the other, or maybe you just are paying more attention to certain specifics with grammar, whatever the case may be. And it is, what I would say is that it is the easiest difficult thing, one of the easiest difficult things to actually learn. because, like, the thing is that languages are both easy and difficult to learn. Mostly just about, like, time and motivation and practice, rather than, like, actually having some kind of an innate ability. An innate ability only lessens the amount of time you need to be able to master a language.
Much easier to fly from here.
Let's see what's up there.
And even if you learn it more quickly, you tend to cut corners and make you less efficient at learning it. Not all the time, though. Holy shit, I just got a best seg out of that.
Awesome! Totally awesome!
Fucking Shadow and his massive IQ. So you wait, 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 hold right,
I'll find Eggman's
switch to
treasure.
Charmy right when it happens, hold A. I jumped too early. I have to add,
I'll find Eggman's
I'm gonna add
treasure
7.5 seconds.
first. Take the lead.
There's been a misunderstanding.
Okay.
I'll find Eggman's treasure first. I'll take the lead.
There's been a misunderstanding, but I doubt if they'll listen to us.
All right, then let's.
I'm just gonna add 30 seconds because why not? More fun with that. Or not add 30 seconds, I'm just gonna put 30 seconds.
Hey, what's next?
And yeah, anybody that's like looking to learn a language, the one thing that I would say is it is only a matter of time. You just have to keep going at it. But you also have to adjust your brain, because if you don't adjust your brain, then I mean, you might be able to have a huge amount of words, but if you use the language like you would your native language, people are not going to understand you. Sometimes, like, you know, if you're making those mistakes, it's fine, but you do have to remember that there's a level of, like, you can't just automatically use your own language's rules. Sometimes you can, and that's nice, but usually you can't.
Yeah!
But it's always just, it's more of a matter of time than anything else. Sometimes you just kind of learn the grammar and you just can't use it. So you just have to keep using the language until your brain makes those connections. And it's like, oh, ow, wow, I can start using this now. What the fuck? When did I start being able to use this preposition correctly? When was I capable of using this verb tense correctly? And then maybe you write a big sentence and you're just like, oh, well, I must have been able to, I must have made many mistakes, and then they're just like, no, you just did this. Everything else sounded fine, and then you're just like, what the fuck? Damn. Impossible.
Let's go. Careful not to fall. It's really dangerous here.
I think I got Flower Glitch. Unlike in the GameCube version, you can carry Flower Glitch over to other levels, which saves a little bit of time. But, certain things, like, there are certain small differences that make one version faster over the other, but the differences really aren't that much, at least for Chaotix. For Team Sonic, I think it's pretty much the exact same on Xbox versus GameCube. Though, if you're playing on 360, it's different. If you're playing on 360, if you're playing on 360, you will lose time. As Team Sonic because there's a wall you can't clip through. And then for the other teams, I'm not sure.
Perfect! The work of professionals!
This game has a lot of really weird things in it. And a lot of it really just kind of isn't really... Some of the stuff, like the version differences, usually aren't known because most people just run on, you know, GameCube.
You've made quite a
Or whomever else runs
payment with your life.
on not GameCube. They're usually running on Xbox on 360. And I'm kind of in the middle ground where I stopped using 360 and I'm using original Xbox now.
We'll hold nothing back since you're our clients.
Some people use, or like some people have used the PS2.
Here we come!
Missed this scene.
Truly amazing!
Yeah, I love that. Ooh, good RNG for once. If I'm on an Xbox, you have to hold A during a bop boost to Sonic. Interesting. That might be why I have issues with it. Also, hey Charles, what's up? There's actually... I missed it. Oh, I didn't totally miss it.
Behold, ninja!
Well... Come on. It's fucked. Yep. Oh, I got it.
Let's go!
I have to add 10 seconds because I used this. That is an interesting thing to note, though. It would make sense as to why I was never capable of getting, why I was never capable of getting, the damn bop boost as Team Sonic. Despite the fact that literally everybody was saying, like, dude, it's so easy. How are you not getting it as Team Sonic? And I was just like, eh? Dude, that's like the hardest shit. I still save time though. I'm just gonna put 153. Now, there's actually a missing texture on the PS2 version in Frog Forest, around where you get to one of the checkpoints. There is a box there on the PS2 version, for whatever reason. And, I mean, there's some theories that, there's a possibility that certain, like, things, like clips and stuff, are only possible on PS2. And, like, from what I remember from a friend of mine called Smartkin looking into Crash to Insanity, he told me that the way that floating points are calculated on the PS2 are different from the Xbox and the GameCube. The rounding is completely different, which can cause certain, like, collision things to react differently. And since Heroes, I believe, was mainly developed for the GameCube and the Xbox, there is a possibility that there are things to be discovered on PS2. But nobody runs on PS2 for a myriad of reasons. And those that do, we usually say, oh, you poor bastard, or you poor person. Because, like, usually it's
Seems like we have to activate all three.
a very painful experience. Okay, it's fine. This pop boost is interesting. 1, 2, 3. I messed up. I've been having a lot of trouble with this one recently. One, 2, 3.
Here we go.
Okay, I got it the way that everybody else gets it. Oh shit. I have bad gravity. I might not make it. I might not make it. I made it.
Here we go. Let's go. Roger.
207. That bomb boost is actually not as difficult as you would think, but it is still very, very precise. You know, just like most of this game is a very precise game in general. But I mean, it is to be expected since it's a Sonic game for one. A lot of 3D Sonic games are very precise. And like Heroes in particular has some of the most like in-depth mechanics of any Sonic game. And it has more in-depth mechanics than a lot of video games in general. This is one of the reasons why, like, I believe people have issues actually getting into the game. Because there's a hell of a lot of mechanics in this game. Even stuff that's like basic. Which is why when Sid and I wrote the wiki, it's like, you know, read the damn basics. It's not really to kind of like, you know, insult anybody or anything like that. It's like, you really do need to learn the basics in order to run the game properly. Because, like, this game is ridiculously in-depth. Not like an RPG, though. RPGs are completely different. You know, but you know, you have to understand when X happens, you got to do A or Y, or when you make this mistake, you probably do this or that or whatever. And the problem is that it is incredibly difficult to kind of document all the ways to do backups and everything because of the fact that, like, there's so many different things that can happen that the best way to actually know how to avoid most of the faults in the game is just having the knowledge to be able to adjust to anything that happens at the time, which is not easy. It is a painful process. But I mean, like, you know, you look at maybe me or Sid or Deku, and like, we've been running Heroes for years. Like, I started in 2012, Sid I think in 2013. Deku's a lot more recent, and so is Revo, and it shows with Revo because, like, there are times when he is, you know, really good, and there's times that you just kind of see, and like, a veteran is usually like, he probably should have done this. But the problem is that when you don't have all those years of experience, you have no idea how to, like, do anything to avoid certain things. And it's just part of the process. PC controller tracker. The hammer down stuff? I mean, it's not too bad once you get used to it. Like, I mean, you can think of it a lot like a fighting game, right? Yeah. Yeah, Revo, you're still a new runner. You're really good. You are really good, and you have a lot of knowledge. But there's a lot of stuff that, like, you just cannot know without actually experiencing the game. It's impossible. Unless you've, like, religiously watched Heroes runs for years and somehow can translate that.
Piece of cake. Ready all cannons. Open fire. Looks pretty.
I'm guessing like this, where, what I just did, right? Where I just, hammered down with vector, right? That's what you were referring to, Food?
No, the body is still intact.
I need that ring. So what I do, though it's a little bit different, from what most people, I actually do a lot of sliding with my thumb.
Retreat. Target destroyed.
So, like, usually I have my hand set up to do sets of 2 inputs at a time. So, like, say when I'm going from B to X, I press B and slide my thumb to X. Or, say, when I'm doing a hammer down from the air, I might press A and then X. Or,
That'll shut him up for a while.
like, to me, it's just a series of double inputs. Always, like, everything is in sets of 2s, and it's just memorization. It's a lot harder to do on the GameCube controller, though. I'm not sure how people do it on a GameCube controller. Like, see here, I'm gonna slide from B to A. Let's see here. B to A, X to Y. B to A, X to Y, B to A again, and then press A a third time. That was all just me sliding my thumb. Doing the first input without sliding, and then the second input by sliding. Right there, I just did it again. Starting to get records. Yeah. Some people start out that way. Some people start out having a lot of knowledge and getting records early. When I started getting records in Heroes way back in 2013, it was the same. It was the exact same like method as what Trell's been doing. Is a lot of research, and then just being capable of pulling things off well enough to be able to save time.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, I remember that. He started sweeping everything before you, I believe it was Yuki, and before Yuki it was a guy called Mylexi. And then before him, I think it was HDL. Not that good though, but only when it comes to ILs. Well, see, that's the thing, is that some people are good at ILs, and oh yeah, Flat instead of Yuki. You're right. Some people are just built better for ILs initially. Like, I was not very good at doing single segment when I started back in 2011, but to be fair, I didn't even know what the hell. I had no idea what single segment was until like a year after I started speedrunning.
Level up. Here we go. Let's go.
But it is something to be proud of. It's like you do have to eventually cultivate the knowledge and the skill outside of just developing new tech and stuff in order to keep up. Or sometimes it takes the community a really long while to actually catch up. Or if you just, you know, just have fun doing ILs and not doing single segment, that's fine. Like, that's That's just... Okay. Well, we... Can I land on Vector's head? Is he solid? Is Vector solid? He's not solid. Huh. Interesting. I'm gonna reset that.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's go.
If you like Shadow ILs, Shadow ILs are interesting. I actually really wanted to get into running Shadow the Hedgehog back in 2011 or 2012, but I sucked at it and I had the PS2 version only, so I didn't really go very far in it. I always thought though that it was a fun speed game. It looked really fun. That you can segment by checkpoints. Yeah, that's just how it is. That's how we've always done them.
There may be too many of them.
Well, I mean, it also depends. Like, it depends on the like IL too, because some ILs are better. Some ILs are better without it.
Careful not to fall. It's really dangerous here. Yep. Got it.
Some ILs are better without segmenting. Some are better. Usually, though, they aren't, though. Yeah, Dark, for example, is much worse.
Impossible feat.
Usually with Team Chaotix, segmenting doesn't matter until it does. But usually the segmenting is part of the route. Instead of, like, just, you know, doing the same thing over and over again. And then in certain cases, you only have one shot to do certain things. But that's usually why it's called time attack, instead of like an individual level speedrun. Or why we always call them time attacks. Is that the idea is not really to get the fastest time, it's to get the lowest time. We didn't really call them IL speedruns. It was all just time attack. That's why TSC is always called a time attack. Now, granted, if we had a new site, we could make the distinction between time attack and IL, but there are too many factors separating that, and plus, like, from a moderator standpoint, that would be hell. It would be hell to moderate.
Impossible feat. Ultimate ninja power.
I mean, I don't mind either way, but for me, it depends on the game, since, like, way back when, that was just how we did things, so, like, I mean, if the community would prefer not having them, then eventually when other people prefer that,
Yes, let me
yeah.
who I really am.
if you have if you have enough people that would prefer it, we could probably change it. But
You're either a genius or a madman. Either way, you'll be sorry for getting in our way. Here we go.
I mean, that's not really outside of Heroes, that is pretty much none of my business. And if people really wanted to change it in if people wanted to change it in Heroes, like I'm not gonna lie, I would just remove all my runs from the boards. Not because I'm upset with the leaderboards, but I do not agree with grandfathering. Runs that would go by doing everything in a single segment, I would keep. Runs that wouldn't, I would just take off the boards. I wouldn't give any shits. Because I just don't agree with grandfathering. Personally, I don't agree with it. Other people, like, say, if we do actually go with a leaderboard change and I saw somebody else did it, but we decided on grandfathering, like, yeah, sure. I'm not going to, like, remove their runs, but I will remove mine that don't agree with the rules. They just don't agree with grandfathering. Come on, Charmy. Here we go. I really needed to make that distinction because I know that could have been taken the wrong way. That's the entire reason why I removed my times in SADX. Because when we switched timing methods, since I don't agree with grandfathering, from a personal standpoint and not really from a moderator standpoint, I removed my time. I removed my times, and then I added a placeholder in Sonic Story, and just for like actually having a run there, since I think my run was record at the time, and it would have just been weird to have a world record tier run not be in first place. But I mean, nowadays, really, it doesn't matter too much since everybody uses that timing method anyways. But it was the PB I got with the timing method, so it stays. And I mean, it will be what it will be. The thing that I have noticed over the years, and some people might find this a bit hypocritical with how some of my actions are in certain ways, and like, I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong if you find me hypocritical for having this viewpoint, is that, you know, I'm an older runner. I have my own ways of thinking of how games should be run and how rules should be. I've been speedrunning for 10 years. The thing is I come from an older generation. A transitional generation, but an older generation than most people. Even when speedrunning was gaining popularity, it's the same shit. I don't believe that my viewpoints fit a lot of the criteria from a personal standpoint to decide what is good and what is not good in a game. With that being said, I think I can still uphold the rules that we have in place, and whenever I am a moderator, and I can try to look at it from an unbiased perspective. But usually that means that I have a different perspective based on if you're asking about me in particular or the community at large. I don't like thinking that I know everything. I don't like thinking that my ways are absolute. And I mean, like, the fact of the matter is that the speedrunning community is very different than it was 10 years ago.
Ninja power.
It's very, 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 very different. So, like, every community has its own needs. Some communities don't get the needs, but usually it's mostly to kind of like adjust to new runners, because when you stop adjusting to new runners coming in, or stop understanding that new runners are coming in, you are kind of cutting off the people that keep your game alive. And like, yeah, eventually, like, if your active runners stay there, the game's gonna stay alive temporarily, but eventually, you're either cutting off a supply of new runners and killing the community eventually, or you're just, like, making a lot of people unhappy and uncomfortable.
Maybe best to try him there. Let's go. Let's take care of Eggman's robots first. Level up.
Here we go!
Let's go.
Good job. Mission complete.
And, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, if the idea that we wanted to stop segmenting ILs and heroes
The work
was a thing,
professional.
and if enough people wanted it and think that that's the way going forward, I personally disagree, but who am I to say, right? Like, at the end of the day, I might be a super mod for heroes,
Eggman's treasure first.
but the fact of the matter is that the only thing that I can do is
Doubt if they'll listen to
just
us.
uphold rules and
Whatever the reason, if they
make sure people aren't being irresponsible. Outside of that, I'm really not anybody special, in my opinion,
Hey, what's
and that's how it should be. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. I know that's a bit of an unsolicited perspective, but it's fine. I mean, I do enjoy talking about these kinds of things. I really do have an interest in the speedrunning community, despite the fact that I've tried to cut ties with the major Sonic speedrunning community. But you know, I've been around a lot, made a lot of mistakes, will make a lot more mistakes. I've seen the community change from when I started doing runs. Being around a while, and especially maturing and changing at the same time, will really, it does stuff to you. You realize a lot of things.
awesome?
You realize good things, you realize bad things about yourself, about the people around you, about all these other things. Things you want to do, things you are incapable of doing, etc., etc.
Here's your next mission. Hideout is located in the next block ahead. Ships to enter the hideout. Collect 10 ships.
Huh, I didn't know you could actually grab that chip that way. Interesting. Probably slightly faster.
let's go.
And I mean, these days, certain things I would like patching up, but
Silly.
or like trying to explain everything if that's possible, but I will say specifically that you must respect that at this point in time, reaching out when you have no idea if somebody that you've never even really talked to or met is just gonna hate you is a bit of a difficult thing mentally. So, like, if I've ever come off as an asshole to you, and I've never, like, even interacted with you, I apologize. That's, like, thing, but I wouldn't go out of my way if I've never met you because, like, how am I supposed to know what you're gonna say? Are you even gonna give me a chance before I even say anything? I don't know.
Yeah, beach time!
Now what are we gonna do?
And it's just a preference of
See.
kind of staying in the shadows unless,
Bring it
say, I'm out in the open. I'll say things directly, but
Here is your first mission. In order to test your investigation skills, collect 10
I'm not gonna shy away from things that I've done, mistakes I've made. I've made the decision. I made the decision last year that I think it's time for me to stop fearing, but also do things that are better for me.
Plenty of enemies around here.
Boy's grown up a lot. Boy's done a lot of shit.
I'll take the lead.
These ruins, they moved when we got near them. Here we go!
I'll take the Here we go.
Here we go! Let's go! Here we go!
Ah, puta madre. I didn't mean to make it things like all sentimental and shit, but you know, things being on your mind.
Here we go!
Yeah, let's go.
Re puta madre. Che boludo, re puta madre.
Yeah, beach time.
Now what are we gonna do?
It's not Thursday yet, so I can't say the oh, hoy es jueves. Me reperdí. Hoy es jueves. I like that meme. Wouldn't know the phrase. Something's wrong, like larre. Puta madre.
Here we go!
Yeah, let's go.
Dude, yes, I apologize for my oldness. Glad there's differences between glitched and glitchless and even further A ranks.
Yeah, beach time.
Now what are we gonna do?
Now, see, the whole idea about, like, glitchless and stuff, I never agree with glitchless, not because I think that not doing glitches is stupid, but usually because of the fact that the nomenclature of glitchless is bad, and very, 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 very inaccurate, because while in programming, you can very easily describe what is and is not a glitch, for speedrunners, that's not really the case. It's like, well, what if you can jump onto a hitbox created by a bomb that allows you to skip the thing, but the thing is that you can land on the hitbox. The hitbox is meant to be there because that's what you jump off of. But is that a glitch? And the thing is that a lot of people here are going to have different answers.
A button to fire and X button to cancel.
And this is why I hate
Change the cannon direction with the
the term glitchless, because it's inaccurate for us. Which is also why when people were discussing no major glitches or glitchless for heroes, I just said specifically, like, the idea is to remove certain tricks. Let's, instead of creating something incredibly in creating arbitrary nomenclature, create specific nomenclature that puts in an arbitrary set of rules. Limited text selection, which originally the name that that we came up with was no ass, no arbitrarily selected skips, and then LTS kind of stuck. Semantics are very fun, yes, and I hate semantics. I argue semantics as somebody who, you know, studies language, self-studies language, and is going to be going into studying languages, but, like, there are certain things where, when semantics matter, it is a fucking piece of shit. Because of the fact that, like, nobody's gonna be able to agree. So create something where people can agree is... What the hell? If you create something where people can agree, or if they can't agree, that they have the ability to discuss it, like limited text selection, you can discuss literally anything about the run if you so choose. It's like, you know, if people don't want the cage clip, you can make an argument about it. And if the mods like the argument, then there you go. No more cage clip in LTS. Or maybe you consider something that shouldn't be a part of the run, or maybe should be part of the run, that changes it out. And you could just discuss it, and then if we like it, there you go, you can change it. Because it's named in such a way where it's so specific, but so unspecific. Whereas glitchless and no major glitches is unspecific and then specific. The meaning is specific, but the rules are unspecific. LTS is the exact opposite, where the name is unspecific, but the rules are specific.
Self-proclaimed genius scientist.
What a psycho!
You're either a genius or a madman. Either way, you'll be
Because nobody can say that they are absolutely right about what should and should not be limited in the selection of tech. Nobody can tell you that. If they do, then, well, they're wrong, because nobody's correct. It's what everybody has decided. But with glitchless, people will say, no, glitchless is this. And then other people are going to be like, no, glitchless is this. And then it gets into an argument where you can spend entire fucking weeks arguing over whether or not you can jump off of a fucking hitbox that exists in the game to skip something. And in case you're wondering, I'm actually, like, referring to something specific here. It was the Rayman 3 glitchless runs. Like, I saw this argument for weeks, and then I just said, okay, look, guys, the hitbox, it exists. The invincibility frames, they exist. You can jump off of the damn bomb if you have invincibility frames, because it's a hitbox that exists, and therefore should not be considered a glitch. And eventually, like, people were just like, you know what? Kinda right. And then people started using it. And it makes me even more mad, the fact that, like, the argument even had to happen in the first place, because because it's a thing where glitchless is so, and no major glitches as well. It's so subjective. It's so subjective, yet it's supposed to be specific.
Yeah, let's go!
That does not work well with human language. When something is so specific yet unspecific, and people actually have to care about whether it's specific or not.
Yeah, beach time!
Now what are we gonna do?
See.
Test your abilities.
Bring it on! Ready.
Oh yeah, and in case anybody also wants me to go even more off topic, my friend actually sent me a gift for my birthday, which came early. And then, like, the funny thing is that he was just like, okay, well, I told him I would open it when, I would grab it, and then I would open it when he was, around. I was like, hey, you around? And then he's like, oh yeah. And then he starts laughing. And then I'm like, you got me something, didn't you? And then I was just thinking because one of our mutual friends got him a dildo for his birthday, and he almost opened it in front of his parents, so when he chuckled, I was like, oh dear fuck, please don't tell me he got me a fucking dildo. And then... So, I mean, I told him, like, the one thing that you can do... The one thing that you could do if you don't know what to get me for my birthday is socks, because I love socks. I love the feeling of putting on a new pair of socks. It's nice. It's refreshing. Comfortable. Unless socks suck, but that's beside the point. And so, you know, I open it, and then I was expecting the socks. I got the socks. Apparently, they were his brand, like, that he really, really likes, and actually they're very comfortable and very durable, by the way. Very breathable. If I knew the name of the brand, I would actually, like, say it and say, like, you guys should all, like, get this kind of brand if you got the money, because they are very comfortable. But unfortunately, I don't know the brand. Now, the other thing was that he got me, moisturizing cream. And the reason why he got me that was because, well, he had to make the shipping free somehow, so he spent an extra 15 cents getting me moisturizing cream. For men. And then the third thing was shark-themed beginner's chopsticks. Because I was telling him, like, you know, man, I tried using chopsticks when I was young, like 5 years old, and in case anybody didn't know, I have dyspraxia, which, don't ask me how I have a problem with my coordination and be able to play heroes. That's something I'll never be able to answer. But I couldn't use the chopsticks back then, and I kind of like expressed interest in potentially learning how to use them. So he got me some of those, and I was like, well, damn. And so he started eating them with everything, or using them with everything, eating food with them. And then I showed them to my mom, and she's like, but you don't eat Chinese food. And I'm like, Mom, you could use chopsticks with everything. A funny little story, but it doesn't matter. I know it's kind of like just... I thought it was funny. But damn, that was like probably one of the best gifts that I've received in a while. I don't know, I'm kind of weird with gifts nowadays. Maybe it's just because I'm, like, turning 26, but... I don't really care as much about, like, material things. I like things that are a little more practical nowadays. Like, you know... socks, for example. Like, a game is nice. Absolutely a game is nice. And I will be very happy about it. But if I have something that is more applicable to my everyday life, like, say, chopsticks, in case, you know, you never know when you need to use chopsticks. You might find yourself in Japan or any Asian country to visit someday. Maybe not. Maybe you'll go to an Asian food restaurant and they have chopsticks instead of forks, which... why would that exist in an English-speaking country? I have no idea, but you never know. And plus, it's kind of fun, and it helps me with my coordination. Always got to keep the coordination on your toes, on its toes.
Why do you think we're here? How else are we gonna make the rent?
Let's go!
Here's your next mission. Destroy all of Eggman's robots holding the city. Every single one of them.
Hey, look how fast I can run on this path!
Hey, Maddie. I would be speaking in Spanish right now, but Revo raided me, as I'm sure you're aware.
Those suspicious machines.
I'm fine with it. Like, I mean, it's been a while since I've had since I've had a bunch of viewers. And I am appreciative.
Let's go. There may be too many of them.
Ah, don't matter. Yeah. Well, I'm saying that more for my sake because I should be practicing than your sake, and also just kind of explain things. And that's also not to say like don't worry, because I mean I'll probably just do a mostly Spanish stream tomorrow, unless some people come in and speak English, and then I'll speak English again. It's fine. Like I've said many times, the whole Spanish thing, it's 100% for me. It's for me, myself, and I, and like the stream is not necessarily entirely for myself. So like there's no problems if I'm, you know, streaming and I'm speaking in Spanish. You come in and you don't speak Spanish, just come in and say hi. You don't have to speak. You don't have to speak a language you can't understand, because I can understand English. It's just that outside of today, which I'm making an exception, I will be doing stuff. I will be doing what's it called? I will be doing my commentary in Spanish, but it. Hey Beef, what's up, dude? It's been a while actually since I've seen you.
I sense enemies nearby.
Oh, shit. I don't know. I just usually feel like I really do want to explain that, because I don't want people feeling left out just because I'm not speaking English when that happens.
Boy, it doesn't look good.
I'll handle it.
Let's go. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go.
Take the lead!
Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Take the lead! That was a blast! Here it comes!
Eh, 328, not bad. Okay, I did type it incorrectly. Good. I've been having some major issues today with like speaking and typing and all this other stuff. Possibly because I woke up at like 3 in the morning. Because Athena had to eject her bowels.
Here's your next mission. Those terminals control the system of the city itself. Find and destroy 3 of them.
Watch Blue Mania. What's Blue Mania? Or who is Blue Mania? Watched a Dutch and a French streamer too and still had fun. Hey, yeah. They're Korean Sonic Runner. Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
Easier to fly from here!
Wasn't he running Heroes? Wasn't that the Korean guy that was running Heroes? Was that somebody else? Hmm. Talking about Tsukimos. Yeah, Tsukimos. I was talking about him.
The work of professionals.
He didn't run Heroes, okay. It has like, I really haven't been keeping up with anything, like, I haven't been keeping up with anything recent. Been doing a lot of my own things.
I'll find Eggman's treasure first.
For many obvious reasons.
Misunderstanding.
I did that so late.
They'll listen to us.
All right, then. I'll find
Ah,
Eggman's
puta
treasure
madre.
first. I'll find Eggman's
Larre.
treasure first.
There's been a misunderstanding, but I doubt if they'll listen to us.
Let's do it.
Whatever the reason.
I'm just gonna put 20 seconds.
Hey, what's next?
There's a lot of names that I probably are not going, and that I'm probably not going to hear of now, and I mean, like, names that I probably wouldn't have heard of even before I left the Sonic speedrunning community.
I want to play.
Just because I've
Fancy plays.
been losing a lot of interest in, been losing interest in some speedrunning, like, just things in general. That was perfect, actually.
Here we go.
Execution wasn't perfect, but the height was. That was really, really good.
Yeah.
I might make 2303 my best seg for that, because if I remember correctly, I added the 22 in while I was doing practice, and I forgot that that you lose time when you're doing runs. So I might actually just put the 2303 as my best seg there. Sometimes I do that since it doesn't really matter if my segments are exact here, since we go by in-game time anyways. Okay. My hands just do not want to work today. That's a little backup. Technically, that's actually faster. So, is there a big, like, Korean community? A Korean sub-community for, like, Sonic speedrunning? That I just am not aware of? I know there's people that run... I know there's a Japanese part of the community.
Here we go. Take the lead. Thank you.
But... outside of that... Come on. I'd be interested to know. I think there used to be a French sub-community, but then that kind of died. For whatever reason. Come on. There was a possibility, I think, back when Speedruns Español was, like, a lot smaller, that Sonic sub-community would have come out of the Spanish communities, but I mean, would it have been stable? Fuck no.
Dr. Eggman, you've made quite a mess here. I'll accept your apologies and payment with your lives. Want some? Come and get it. On guard.
Guard on.
Get them. We'll hold nothing back since you're our client's enemy.
We're here to fight the bad guy.
Get ready. Here we come.
I've been having some decent RNG recently. It's kind of weird. Usually you don't get good RNG. The only time you usually get good RNG is when you are performing very poorly. Okay, now I'm not getting good RNG. Come on. Now I have to use the Team Blast. No, I don't.
Spirits unite.
There we go.
Give up.
You're finished.
That was too easy.
This might be best seg. Nope.
Don't get too excited.
That
Those were the easy ones.
was not bad.
All right.
I mean, despite a lot of my forthcomings, that was actually a pretty good robot
Where did all those
carnival.
robots come from?
Usually I lose a lot of time there. In before PB. No. No. That ain't happening. I'm not PBing.
This has gotta be Eggman's base.
But it would be funny if I did.
Just the way we like it.
I mean, technically sub 40 is possible.
Let me take point.
Still.
Here's your next mission. Infiltrate the terminal station located in the middle of this base. This is a difficult mission.
Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go.
Look out for that rhino.
Keep moving, boys. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Take the lead.
Ooh. They tried. They really tried.
Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. Here we 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 go. Quite a base.
Awesome.
They spared no expense here.
Here we go.
Let's go. Here we go.
Bad guys. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Not bad. I think I know approximately where I'm at. One, two, three.
Here we go.
Perfect, actually. This was a really good rail canyon. Holy shit. I am perfectly okay with this. Oh, shit. That's actually a pretty fucking good angle. I'm not gonna land on it. No, I should. Okay.
Let's go. Roger.
Was that a best seg? It was.
Awesome. Totally awesome.
Damn. Your boy's moving up in the world.
Here's your next mission. Capsules packed with throughout the base. Destroy
Hey, Mere Mortem, what's up, dude? Moving fast is indeed what is going on, somehow. Okay.
This must be the secret weapon capsule.
We found
Okay. Hit those. I've been looking for a while. Yeah, I respect it. And you don't need to feel. You don't have to feel the need to break the lurk. I usually just kind of ramble on regardless of what's going on. Unless I'm concentrating, then I usually shut up. Here we go. Enjoy watching a Hero series since you got into the run. Ah, nice. Heroes is always fun to watch.
This has to be the giant cannon's internal mechanism.
Got it. Come on. Make the cycle. No.
I wonder where this cannon is going to take us.
Damn. That was close. I almost made the zero cycle. Almost missed that. I don't want to miss that. So I bet you are all too familiar with the boy Sid.
It shot us quite a distance.
That was awesome! Can we do it again?
Tommy, this isn't a roller coaster ride. Let's go.
This is perfect for Vector!
Ooh. Not bad. Not bad. The nerves are starting to hit a little.
Whoa, this is super fast!
We're almost to the terminal.
I'm just gonna switch here.
Proceed with caution and be careful not to fall.
Here we go!
Save time off of my PB. This seems to be not a bad early game or a bad late game. Mid game actually. Probably some of the best mid game I've ever had. Especially if I get a good egg albatross. But if I don't get a good egg albatross, then that's fine. I mean, I'm not really here to PB. I'm just kind of here to de-rust and ramble.
That must be. What do we do now?
Secret weapons must be aboard that ship. Destroy it before it reaches the canyon.
Piece of cake. Ready, all cannons.
Open fire!
Looks pretty tough. Are we ready?
Ready!
Can't wait. Let's go. Here we go. You are going to regret this.
Okay, go!
Is that it? Here we go.
Kaboom!
No, the body is still intact. Let's go. Here we go. 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 Retreat. Let's go. Here we go. Target destroyed.
Well, I saved time off of my PB, but sub 40 does not seem to be possible anymore. Not that that's that big of a deal. And mostly just means that
That'll shut
I don't,
him up for a while.
I'm not nervous any longer. It always looks frustrating with Chaotix. It sometimes is. Depends on how the boss does its thing, because like its movement patterns tend to hit you when you're moving incorrectly. It's annoying, but it's manageable.
There are huge frogs in this jungle. Once they start to grow, it will start to
I started rolling too late. No, too early. Rolling too early. That's slow. Damn it. There we go. Okay.
Hey, there's a frog over there.
Interesting thing, you actually toss the star, and the star throw actually makes you run up faster, for whatever reason. Not sure why.
Here we go.
Let's go. Let's go.
What? Oh, okay, I fat fingered that.
Here we go. Let's go.
And the star mattered.
Here we go.
If I didn't fat finger, I actually would have made it. I was not expecting that, and then I... I mean, they're not. It's not PB attempts, so it's whatever. So that's what, 40 seconds? I'm just gonna add 40 seconds to the timer.
Here we go.
Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go.
Usually you don't get the stronger rocket excel there. In fact, I don't think I've ever gotten it there. Like, literally ever. Going for a ride! We're going for a ride!
Let's go. Let's go.
Take the lead.
Hey, there's a frog over there.
Here we go.
Oh.
Here we go. Yeah.
Saved it!
Impossible feat. Ultimate ninja power.
I saved it, so like,
Here's your next mission. There are many challenges
Wait, what? How did I have flower glitch? Okay, I need to figure out why I keep having that happen, because, like,
Take the lead. Here we go. Thank you.
it's gotta be something with my movement there. Okay. I missed a ring. That sucks. Good job, Charmin.
job. Mission complete.
Now, maybe we can,
Perfect. The work of professionals.
Maybe Team Rose is gonna be alright, but we'll see. Let's see, on the Xbox version, you actually have to do a different strat because the game kind of moves after restarting. So you can't do the strat that you do on the other versions.
Gotta be amazing.
That's sketchy.
Roger.
Got it.
Gotta be
Okay.
a major misunderstanding here, but we can't.
So when you restart after dying, you gain control for a little bit of time. Something probably to do with, like,
Forgive me, but this
some
is our
bits. And then you have a very small amount of time before the game locks your inputs again, where you have to do a controlled rocket excel. You have to hold X for a tiny amount of time, then let go, and then do a leaf swirl. It's kind of precise. kinda precise. It does look cooler. You're right about that, it does look cooler, but the thing is that it looks cooler, but it's not necessarily easier, and it's also not necessarily faster. It's actually slower. So while you do get some time save, on the Xbox version due to the flower glitch carryover, you lose some time on those. And it's only some time, it's not a lot of time. Yeah.
Looks like the torches might have bought a cross or something. Here we go. I'll take the lead.
Let's go.
Come on. It's not necessarily infinitely harder. It's actually not that bad. It's just about same amount of precision approximately. But you have more leeway. You have slightly more leeway with the Xbox method. Not that much, but you do have a bit more leeway. But it's also much more difficult to, like, get started. It takes longer to, it takes more time if you mess it up, so... No! I wasn't paying attention. Oh boy. 16 seconds.
Here we go.
Take the lead. I think the keys are around here.
What? Where? Here we go.
First try.
Let's go. Let's go. Here we go.
Take the lead. Here we go.
Let's go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Let's go.
Look, there it is again. I'll take the lead. Here we go.
Let's go.
Don't fall.
That healing robot is like a magician. He can transform himself when he's flipped over. So boys, watch out. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go.
Fuck it. Going for the door, going for clipping through the door.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so thunder shooting actually doesn't make it more consistent.
Let's go.
Because I actually like...
Let's go.
Oh wait, maybe it does.
What's that?
Terrell, if you're here, that is something I think you should look into.
Here we go.
Look, there it is again.
I should show Revo that too. He might find it interesting.
Let's go.
16 seconds, so that's 43. I'll just put 245.
Impossible feat. Ultimate ninja power.
Interesting that this run actually had potential. But unfortunately, as everything goes, it just kind of went down the toilet. I do have a slightly new strat for Robot Storm though. I have no idea what my fingers were doing. They just kind of got stuck for a second. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Happens sometimes.
What's that? Leave this to me.
Watch me get good RNG. The fuck is this run, man?
Looking good.
I found the torches.
How are we supposed to blow out those torches? Level up.
Yeah, it's interesting to think that playing the original Xbox version on the original Xbox is actually faster for Team Sonic's Mystic Mansion now. Because the only version where you can both clip through that wall that I just kind of went past. Motherfucker. That's 4 seconds.
Here we go.
Puta madre. Estoy hasta la polla, tío. it's kind of weird to think that playing the original Xbox version on Xbox is actually fastest for Team Sonic's Mystic Mansion, because you can both get the flower glitch carryover and clipping through the wall on original Xbox. So on 360, for some reason, it's like impossible to actually clip through that wall. Maybe it isn't if you're bot boosting. Haven't really checked, and I don't feel like turning on my 360, to be honest. Maybe somebody can go and find that out. Might be useful knowledge. Oh dear fuck. I just realized just how big of a mistake I made.
Careful not to fall. It's really dangerous here. Here we go.
Here we go.
Let's go.
I'll take the lead. Here we go.
Let's go.
I'll take
Who
the lead.
knows what could happen if you trigger this switch?
They're both bopped.
Ready anytime. Level up. Yep. Spirits unite. Here we go. Let's go.
Oh, come on. If he dropped an Espio power-up... He did. Okay. I think you can Rocket Excel to blow out those torches. You can't. Okay.
Let's go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Let's go.
It's a giant spider web.
Should we grind on it to cross over?
That was some interesting on-the-fly routing. I mean, if I were doing a marathon run, I would have to kind of like adjust to that shit. So like, good practice, I guess.
SBO.
Note to self: don't die.
Let's go.
Okay.
Hey, what is this place?
Look, there are torches here too.
I'm just gonna put 415. And it's not gonna be a sub 43
Impossible feat.
unless I get a really good robot storm, because well, actually in the previous stream that I did yesterday, I think I actually almost got a best seg for robot storm. My execution was pretty good too.
There you are, you mustache moron. He's the one, right?
There you are, you mustache moron! He's the one, right? Take them out, quickly!
Gonna cost you.
This is gonna cost you extra!
There was something strange about the climb.
Don't worry about it.
We've got to take care of this guy first.
Oh, I didn't realize that strat was as good as it was. Because I didn't do it that way. It's a little slow, but it works. Like the way that it works. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be getting any vector power-ups, but if I get it... I did not get a single Charmy level up. That's not good.
Truly amazing.
Fine. Level 2 SP is actually really good here.
We're outnumbered.
There's so many of them.
It's an endless sea of robots. Not bad. Let's go.
Stop it. Oh well. Easy come, easy go. There we go.
Take the lead.
Behold, ninja power. Here we go.
I wanted level 3 Vector.
Awesome. I'll take the lead.
Not bad. Here we go.
Those clappers, the wave spawn on timers. I noticed that the waves actually spawn on timers. Like there's like a certain like timer or certain timing to it that like you can't exactly have it spawn until a certain time, so it might not be possible to get a fully like, or it might be a lot more possible than we would think to actually get like an optimal Robot Storm and potentially Robot Carnival.
Awesome.
I think I'll forward that to Revo in case he doesn't know. He might have already kind of figured that out though. Let me go!
Behold, ninja power. Don't get too excited, boys. Those were the easy.
Don't get so excited, boys! Those were the easy ones!
Did he really think he could stop us with that?
4330 is no longer possible. But I mean, who cares? If I were to get a solid like, if I were to get a solid run like this, or like if I were to get this during a marathon run, I honestly wouldn't be that mad. I'll be completely honest with you, I would not be that mad if that happened.
Once we start a job, we finish the job. That's the policy. We're Team Chaotix.
We're Team Chaotix!
Whale shark flagship. Be careful not to get captured by the enemies.
Let's go.
Fuck it, I'm going for it.
Here we go.
I'm going for the hard strat. The slightly hard strat, not the really hard strat.
Here we go.
How could we reach this altitude already?
Flying this high makes me dizzy.
You're a bee. You're supposed to be used to flying, aren't you?
Can't go for it. Army's not here.
Here we go.
Let's go.
It doesn't really save that much time anyways.
Here we go. 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 Let's
We have their notice. Let's keep it that way.
Let's go. Here we go. Let's go.
Take you.
Let's go. Here we go.
That could have been very bad. Ooh, okay, so like... No! Come on! Are you kidding me? That's 30 seconds down the drain.
Distance can move out. Here we go. Let's go.
Here we go.
Let's go. Here we go. Let's go.
I swear to fuck. Damn.
Keep our distance from the cannon. Good job, boys. Let's go.
Please, game. Please, I lost another minute. Por favor, no jodas. Por favor. Este juego es impresionante, tíos. Impresionante. Fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore. Puta madre. That laser cycle's on a, it's on a, what kind of cycle is that called?
Roger.
Well, what was I calling that? Draw distance cycle? Proximity cycle? It doesn't really matter too much. So, now I'm not going to sub,
Impossible feat.
44.
Ninja power.
That was some spaghetti and a half. That was absolutely some spaghetti and a half.
So far, so good. Here's
Well, I have until the 26th to the 27th. They do be that way. You go for that strat knowing full well that that is a possibility. It's just that it's actually kind of rare to get that to happen. By the way, in case anybody's curious, the whole reason why I press Y to switch to Charmy is because of the fact that sometimes you land on Vector's head. So you switch to Charmy to, you switch to Charmy to mitigate it. Interesting. You switch to Charmy in case Vector actually, in case you actually land on Vector's head, it's like, oh damn, that was the best seg. I've never subbed one before. I got 3 best segs this stream. Insane. Some of best is dropping down to 38, 35. Or I mean, it's dropping to 38, 30. Damn. I'm gonna see what the hell this, what this does.
Beware my ninja.
Or what time I get with this, and then I'll, and then I'll,
I'll show you what real evil is.
end the stream.
This must be the final stage. Charming. Really, boys, this is where we have to get tough. Don't let your guard down. Here we go. Let's go.
Forgot about that. Oh, come on!
I'll show you what real evil is. This must be the final stage.
Please grab it, thank you.
Really, boys, this is where we have to get tough.
Charmy, you son of a bitch.
Nothing personal, just serving up justice. You're gonna regret starting this fight. It's not over yet, troublesome fools. I'll put an end to your evil ways, Eggman.
I'm gonna hurt you real bad!
Well, now I actually don't even want to know. Now I don't even want to know what the time is. Okay. Alright, well.
Guess it was a fake after all. What do you
Reset the splits.
Dr. Eggman, I presume.
I'm gonna check to see if there's somebody to host or raid or whatever.
You knew it was me.
Probably not, but
Didn't you? It's all part of being a good detective. Were we fooled that easily?
You're rotten!
Hey, hold on, you guys. It's no trick. And besides,
I'm gonna host Old Clav.
as soon as I
Thanks for watching, and
pay you.
maybe I'll see you tomorrow, maybe I won't. I still appreciate everybody who stayed in today. I'll see you guys maybe some other time.